Hello, and welcome back to the Web Dev Coach, where my goal is to teach you web development. This is the fifth and final video on the timestamp microservice FreeCodeCamp project. This video will be a bit more advanced as it's deployment to a new service called Zeit Now. So if you had a little trouble with the Heroku deployment in the last video, I apologize. This video may not be for you, but go ahead and try it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below in the comment section. So what exactly is Zeit Now? Let's go over to the documentation, and you'll see there's an introduction to Now. However, let's go to the V2 documentation, and that actually lives at zeit.co/docs. Now, the first thing we'll need to do is install Zeit Now, and it'll be as simple as brew update and brew cask install now. Or if you want to use npm on your machine, this is how we install it there. So npm i-g now. That'll look something like this, and you can use @latest to install the latest version of Zeit Now. If you remember, our application looked like this. This is our index.js, our Node server. And let me show you exactly what it looks like. So we can run npm start, and that'll run the Node server on our local machine. Additionally, since we deployed it to Heroku in our last video, we can do Heroku open to open up the Heroku application in our browser. So you'll see that this is the Heroku application that we deployed in our last video. It's working just as we'd imagine. And if we go to localhost 8000, you'll see the same exact timestamp microservice right there. The last thing that's left to do is actually deploy it to Zeit Now. So to get started, let's actually go back to our documentation, and you'll see the basics here, exactly what it should look like. We'll be using the now command to deploy. It's really easy. Every now deployment needs a build step. As you see here, this Lambda function is deployed using the node builder. However, our index.js is an entire node server. So we can't use the simple Lambda function node builder because our endpoint does not have this structure of module.exports equals some function for, some file. So the builder we'll need to use is the Node.js server. And again, this is used for entire servers, which is exactly what index.js is here. So we'll go down, take a look, and the first thing we'll need to do to write this builder, we'll need to ensure that node modules are ignored with .now ignore. So let's get started there. And we'll add node modules just like that. Great. Let's scroll on down. Here they make the server, right? And we finally need to configure a now.json. Again, I skipped the following steps above because we have our server already made. So let's create a now.json, right? And it says version number 2. And let's copy and paste the builds from here, and I'll fix it to make it our own. So the source is index.js, and we're going to use the now node server. Lastly, we need to tell now.json that any route that the user might stumble onto should redirect to /. For instance, you'll see that in our localhost 8000, that if we go to API/timestamp, the file that handles that request is still index.js. So anything that the user types in will be handled by index.js. So to do that, let's go back to the documentation and scroll up to route. Routes are defined in the now.json configuration file, and it's an array of objects, and the object has a source, which is the path that we want to account for. In our case, we want to account for /API timestamp, / any date or anything that comes in, because we also want to account for, let's say, garbage here and throw this error. So our source will be /API /timestamp and / anything else. So let's write that now, and the destination path that we want to handle that will be /. We want the default index.js to handle that request. So let's go back to our code here. We'll write out the routes property, and again, that'll be an array of objects, and that object will take in a source of API /timestamp and / anything else. Now, the way we express quote unquote anything else in regular expressions is with the dot star notation, and dot means any character, and the asterisk there means 0 or more of any characters. If you need help with regex, I suggest maybe using the regex1 website, and there are various other free resources online that'll teach you regular expressions. And as we said, we want a dest property, and that'll just go to the / path, and that / path is really the index.js server. The last thing we need to do is, sorry, let me reset this here. Okay, the last thing we need to do is just run now. Running the now command will read through the now.json, the .now ignore those files, in our case the node modules, and deploy as expected. So let's run the now command. You'll see here that well, my deployment was ready. I've run this before, and it'll give you a website that is copied already into your clipboard. So let's go ahead, copy and paste that into our clipboard, and you'll see that we are deployed to Zeit Now. Let's try out our example routes. Here we have API timestamp, which displays the current date. We have our Christmas example, which displays Christmas 2015. We have our Unix timestamp, that works, and we have our garbage here, that gives us an error. We are all deployed on Zeit Now. I suggest going through it some more and trying to extend your Node server, maybe even trying to use the Now Node Lambda serverless builder, which would be a very fun exercise. Until then, though, please click subscribe, please click like. If you have any questions or comments about Zeit Now or even the Node series in general, please leave your comments. For now, I'm finished with the series. I will continue on with a new FreeCodeCamp project. I hope you liked it. Best of luck, everyone. This is the Web Dev Coach signing off.